Welcome. My name is Mark. I am a business development manager here at eSkilled. I have been working in the industry for some time in the training organization industry. We supply both student and learning management systems as well as this AI course creator tool, very separate products. So you can come see me about anything else as well. So what we're going to be going through today is firstly, what is AI course creator? How does it work? And how are we different? We're going to do a course creation, practical demonstration. I've got an example accredited course, but just understand that you can use general language in any of these fields and it will work for non-accredited as well. We're going to go through creation types and certainly new features as well. We're going to go through editing your course and how you can use AI to edit courses as well. We're going through how you would share that course with your learning management system, and obviously how to customize the themes and styling of your courses as well, and how much does it cost? So what is AI Course Creator? So what it is an AI-powered e-learning authoring tool. So this isn't an LMS system. This is a tool that will help you build courses that you can put into an LMS system. So an e-learning authoring tool. All right? It's really easy and engaging to use in terms of course creation. It's really an intuitive and understanding of language. It's easy document conversion as well. So you can convert documents from Word or PowerPoint documents into an e-learning file using this tool. It's a really user-friendly interface, um, and it has AI-assisted editing as well. So not just editing yourself, assisted with AI. It'll use rich media and interactive learning as well, and it'll integrate with just about any LMS on the market. Um, so most LMS systems will have a SCORM functionality. You can import using SCORM or LTI compatibility as well. So how does it work and how are we different? Um, so eSkilled has been around for some time producing resources. Um, you may be familiar with our brands, Compliant, Precision, Total Vet, RTO Learning Materials are our brands of e-learning. We have been doing this for some time. So we got our instructional design team that was producing e-learning files, and we worked with our AI team and our development team to build this tool. And it's because of those aspects that it makes this tool really, really good. It uses the tell, show, do methodology. So provides you content, practical examples, case studies, or scenarios, and then a formative quiz. In terms of tell, show, do. Speeds up the design with beautiful themes. So that's two elements. So it's very quick in producing the design, and also you have beautiful themes to play with, so that you can make really high end, nice looking courses. And it also publishes it into an interactive SCORM output. So what that is, if people don't know what SCORM is it's a way to, whenever you purchase any e-learning content on the internet today, you'll 9 times out of 10 be purchasing a SCORM file. SCORM files are utilized quite readily in the industry, and this system will produce a SCORM file for you. So let's have a look at the tool itself. So firstly, I wanted to take you through one that we've done earlier. This is just a preview link. So this isn't you produce your courses and produce these preview links when you're using the system. But this is just an example course that's possible using the system. You're very familiar if you've used any e-learning online before. You'd be familiar with the look and design of this. This is actually one we've built with our instructional design team, so it has some really nice looking elements to it. So I'm going to hit start. It's a very familiar look and design. Of course, all of these themes are customizable, FYI. So I'll explain that a bit later. you can see here that it uses things like a hotspot. Hotspots, obviously tables are built in, flip cards. It reads out the audio as well. So, in terms of
Plate dishes. Plating is an essential skill in presenting simple dishes. It's not just about putting food on a plate, it's about making the dish visually appealing and appetizing.
So that's AI generated audio content. So that's something that has been in the industry has been quite poorly produced. This tool produces really nice design, well, nice sounds, nice sound. Um, and yeah, so you can add these little hotspots. It'll produce it with case studies here. Mostly in all the subtopics, you'll notice that it'll add in video content as well automatically for you. That's a new feature. Obviously, case studies, quizzes. It'll move you on. You can have it so that it automatically moves on without getting it correct, or you need to get it correct to get it to move on. So that's all built in as well. So you can see pretty clearly it's making a nice looking design. Now, while I'm doing this, I just thought I forgot to mention the housekeeping. So up the top, there's a questions button. It's like a little question mark on the top right-hand corner of your screen. If you want to ask any questions, feel free to ask any questions there in the question button. I'll try and get to them while we're doing this session as well. All right, so you've seen what's possible. Let's see how we can do that. So firstly, it's a very simple design homepage, very easy to use. So you jump into create a course. If I hit create a course here, it'll prompt you. You'll prompt the AI. Now, at the bottom of this section, step 1 here, with the course details, it has course creation types. I wanted to really clearly go through how this works. So in terms of the creative model, that is where you prompt the AI and it will generate the text for you. You can still upload all sorts of documents and it's going to use those documents to produce the content. But you can also go into a document conversion mode. In document conversion, it allows you to upload, say, a learner guide or a course, upload a course, and it will just copy the text. It'll use the same text from the course and use the AI to generate the structure of the e-learning file. So it's still using AI credits, but it'll grab your course and use your same text and populate it into an e-learning file. So that's a really awesome feature that's been applied to this at a later date. Now, in document conversion, you can only upload the one file for obvious reasons. It's converting it directly, right? But if you go to creative, it allows you to upload multiple files. So units of competency, curriculum document, learner resources. If you're doing sort of HR courses, you can do staff handbooks, policies, and procedures. If you're doing software manuals, if you're wanting to teach software, or technical manuals, you can do that too. Obviously, industry specific standards, guidelines, and legislation. But yeah, pretty much anything that's a Word or a PDF file will convert, will be able to be added. So you can go and you can add any of these, and it will use it to structure the document, but it will still generate the text. All right, so FYI. Now, I've got some examples of, I'll go through these prompts with you, but I've got an example unit of competency. Now, like I said before, if you are a non-accredited provider, and I know there's a couple of you guys here today, if you're a non-accredited provider, you can just use general language here. This is really designed, you can see here, it's also designed so that you can deliver fully accredited units of competency as well, right? Now, a course in this system will be a unit. It won't be a full qualification or just FYI. Now, I'm just putting in a support inclusions and diversity. One of the real powerful elements of this tool is its contextualization. So being able to contextualize courses, like this is a course really in one qualification, but there are some courses that are out there that are available in something like 12 or 13 qualifications. So if you have a business course, for instance, and your target audience is a mining company, then of course you want to contextualize it to the mining industry. You won't want to, you know, won't want to talk about Bounce Fitness, which is one of our brands. So yeah, I'm just putting in the course name first, and then the next step is describe your course audience. So this is where you can put in job descriptions. You can put in um, sorry, I've had a question before I move on. So Stephen Lake has asked, if it only does one unit at a time, can this be packaged together in the eSkilled LMS to create a qualification course? Absolutely, Stephen. Yes. So you can, so mostly in our LMS or the LMS that we're using, but any LMS, you can deliver it unit by unit. But you can also deliver it, it can just be a topic, or alternatively, you can structure a course using another AI tool, and you know, develop a course outline or something like that and populate it in there. If you have a package, you know, if you want to produce multiple courses, you can absolutely do that and put that as multiple SCORM files in an LMS, right? So all of this is available now. What I mean by it's a unit, what I mean by that is that if you upload a unit of competency, it's going to relate the course content to a unit of competency, and it's going to generate enough text for a unit of competency. If you put a full qualification in there, you'll find that it can't give you enough text to cover the amount of content you need to produce for a full qualification. So just understand that, you know, you can certainly, you know, structure it your own way if you choose. You know, do things like um, clustering and things like that. You can absolutely do all that, but it generally produces enough text for a unit of competency. Hopefully that answers your question, Stephen. All right, moving back on. So describe your course audience. I've put in early childhood educators working about policies and procedures in regulated children's education and care services in Australia, right? So that's, I've pretty much brought in the tool, the words from the TGA, from training.gov. But yeah, essentially you can use general language here. You can put in ages. You can put in all sorts of information about the type of audience that you have, and it's then going to structure the course. And this one here, I'm just putting in the unit of competency and then just sort of giving it a little bit of guidance around that, right? So I've put in, it's a CHC unit, and then as part of a Cert 3 in early childhood education and care. So that's a note. And we're going to go creative, and I'm going to upload the actual unit of competency from TGA, so as a PDF document. Just doing that. Oh, oops. Also, one thing to note here, it does actually accept Word documents as well. It'll just convert them into a PowerPoint, sorry, a PDF. I'm going to add that in. You can obviously add multiple attachments here. You've got a limit of 500,000 characters. We've only used not quite 10,000. So you can absolutely add in some curriculum resources or maybe a learner resource that you have to help to structure the course content. Maybe you want to add in a PowerPoint that you do, produce a PowerPoint and then print it to PDF and then upload it. And that can then flesh out all the topics that you have in your PowerPoint. So it's more of a presentation. So yeah, lots of ways to add more info in there. So next step, course context. So this is where it becomes really powerful. So how much text do you want? What reading level, right? We're going to go standard here. Of course, there's little speech bubbles that tell you what you need to know here next to each of these sections. Just understand that the reading level is reading level, not age level. So in terms of standard, it says 12 to 14, but it's just plain English understood by, you know, that sort of student age level. So it's more reading level rather than rather than age level. Language, we have up to 96 different languages in here. So it will actually generate the text in that language, which is really crazy. It's not translating, it's generating there. Of course, it may translate things like topics that you've put into that you've uploaded, things like that, but really it's generating the text mostly. Tone of voice, casual, professional, funny. But what they mean by this is not voice as in um, um, voiceover voice. It means the language, the way the language is spoken, right? The way the language is written. So an encouraging context might give little connotations for encouragement within the course, right? So tone of voice, not voice itself. Some people ask me about the voice. That's why I mentioned that. And then we have country context. That's really important. I don't know how many times I've produced a course where with ChatGPT and it's gone, uh, Walmart this or, something that isn't related to Australia. So Australian context is really important if you're in Australia or other countries. Um, and any other contextual considerations. Now I've got a little blurb that I've thrown in here. Concentrate the case studies on early childhood centres in southeast Queensland, Australia. So that's pretty clear. What the course context is going to do is it's going to help mainly with case studies. So when it goes to do the show part of the tell show do, it'll try and utilize the areas, locations. You can even put in things like industry context in here is really important. Obviously, this is an early childhood course, but yeah, this is where you would put in your industry context. Make sure it produces case studies relevant to your industry. But yeah, throw in as much information as you can in there. Obviously, the better the information, the better the output. So think about that. The next step is how does it look? Themes, categories, navigations, that sort of thing. So category is sort of how you would you don't use folders anymore to store stuff on the internet. You use a search function and categories. So it's sort of, in this scenario, we're going to go childcare, early childhood, perfect. Topic navigation, free or linear. What this means is that you have to progress through the course. You have to do one section before it'll move you on to the next section, right? That's linear. I'm going to do free for this one so we can sort of see the content a bit better. We're going to include videos. So what it's going to do in terms of videos, it's going to search videos on the internet about your topics and it's going to populate it into the topic subtopics. We're going to include flip cards as well. It's going to grab things like definitions and put them into flip cards. Learning objectives is sort of like a title page and then case studies. Now, theme. I'm going to show you theme in a bit. Once we hit go on this course, I'm going to take you through some themes and some a bunch of other things, editing, some other things as well. So let's have a look at this. Maybe we do this one. It looks like a nice looking one. Atlas there. Now you can, again, completely customizable themes. You can add your own themes. You can build your own themes as well. So I'll do that. And then the last thing is the formative quiz. Very, very clearly, this is formative assessment. It's not giving you the summative assessments at this stage. You would still do those summative assessments in your LMS system. Okay, so this is more formative at this stage. Of course, you can use those formative assessments and map them to your units if you want, but yeah, we're just going to go formative. Number of choices, like it's just giving you options for the quiz essentially. So I'm just going to leave it at the default for here. I'm going to hit generate. Now, this part here doesn't take long, and what it's doing, our little ebot here, he's painting his masterpiece, and he's going to generate you an outline firstly. Right now, because I've uploaded the unit of competency, it's going to do a very good job of picking up the elements and performance criteria as topics and subtopics for that course. Very good job of doing that, which is, I think, important in that sector. Courtney asked the question, if the system searches the internet for relevant videos to use, should we be concerned about copyright? That's a good question, Courtney. So when I say searches, it's talking about videos to use. It just uses some of the way you've prompted it. It'll use those as sort of keywords to throw in videos. It is actually already opened up the YouTube version of those videos. So it has actually got the copyright built into the video itself. So that's built into your YouTube, um, YouTube connection. It's like an embedded file where you can open it up in YouTube so you can see where the source is from. So yes, is the answer to that. All right, he's created his masterpiece, our little ebot. Now, I don't know this unit really well myself, but I assume those who do know what this means, I think you'll find that it's relevant to topics and subtopics. Sorry, the elements and performance criteria. So we've got quite a few topics in here. And what you can do, really important, because I think utilizing AI, often people will prompt and reprompt AI to get them the right output. This is sort of taking you on that journey so you don't have to keep reprompting it. That being said, you can obviously redo your courses if you don't find that's producing the right output. But I would just suggest that while you're reviewing these, have a look at them. You can add in your own topics and subtopics. Um, and and it's only generated a little bit of, only used a little bit of tokens at this stage. So it's not taking you all the way through the process. So you can just stop here, create manually, and then delete the course if you're not happy with it. But you can also just add your own stuff in there. If you want to add topics and subtopics, move topics, delete topics, it's quite easy to drag things and drop, you know, um, hit the delete button and then hit generate. Now, I would recommend utilizing the AI to generate. That being said, you can also create the content manually if you want. So I hit quick generate here. And this is what takes a little while. So there's 16 topics, right, that we're going to add here. I'm thinking that's going to take about 10 minutes to generate the text here. So we'll leave that go and we'll jump into, jump into the themes area. So up the top here, themes. I'm going to jump in here and you can see the themes. We will give you a few themes on, that you can utilize, but you'll be able to create your own themes as well. So if I want to edit, let's edit the eSkilled theme, hey? So you'll see up the top here, there's these tabs that you can go through about, how to edit your themes, right? And, in terms of, it starts with a theme style. So we have a bunch of different styles in here. You can add your own images to essentially. I think it's pick the spring style, but you get sorry, this is the eSkilled, so it's pick the eSkilled style. But yeah, on our generation that we've done, we've used the spring style. But I had a question from Theodorus. 10 minutes is not a bit too long. Uh, yeah. Well, AI is pretty good, but we want to prompt it the right way, so it takes a little bit of time. This section, but I can tell you now that we've produced a lot of e-learning files over our time, and cutting a timeline of say 6 weeks down to say less than a day into produce and edit and contextualize and do all the things that you need to do to a course, I think is pretty good. So I don't know how have you done with producing, but yeah, this is producing a really good quality output. I think that's the all good. I think that was a little bit of a dig. 10 minutes is really quick. All right. Cover page. So you can add your own images in the cover page. You can even change the background, the way the design flows within the image, and also, colors, even down to the color of the star button. Completion pages, edit those. Obviously, this one's probably not tailored to the children. Um, Banners, banner images, banner text, even down to banner icons, right? You can even edit all those. Course Builder has things like the font settings, font colors, image settings, table settings, you know, all sorts of settings here. Even the top left-hand corner image is there too. So pretty cool tool to help you customize your themes. And you'll have a play with that one. Now, how are we going? Oh, we've done 4 down. I think they're quite beefy topics, so we'll taking a little bit longer. What level? Okay, this is a very good question. I love these sort of questions. So Nathan Bice has asked a question: what level of enterprise security is there to avoid sharing of IP and security with other platforms? What is the base system used behind the scenes, such as ChatGPT? What protections are in place with data being used? Oh, that's a very good question, Nathan. I'm happy to answer that. So we use a combination of different models. I would say the majority is at the moment is ChatGPT. We haven't pushed to the 5 yet because the 5 isn't stable enough and good enough. Is not producing enough a good enough output yet. So we haven't moved to the 5 yet, but we're using 4.0 Omni. And mainly, but depending on what it is, like Image Gen uses another one, you know, different Quiz uses a different one as well. So we have different tools that we're using. We all only use the API version of these tools, right? Which means it's an encrypted, your own portal, it's your own content, right? Within your own portal, it's encrypted to the model. It pushes into the model, but it doesn't feed it. Pushes through the model, and then it's encrypted back to the system. So it's not going to share your IP using these models. So that's probably something that hopefully that'll help with that. We also have ISO certification in terms of security. So all our platforms, not just the AI course creator, but all our platforms follow the ISO 27001. I know that everyone's struggling at the moment with a lot of data breaches that are happening in the industries, but we take that security question very seriously, and we go above and beyond the ISO 27001 certification for data security. So hopefully that answers your question, Nathan. If you have any follow-ups, feel free to ask those as well. Very good question. I like it. How are we going? 7. Ooh, getting there. All right. So what I might do is just jump into a pre-existing course. So firstly, once you've generated the text, once it's generated the course, all right, it's going to add in things like these videos that you can then choose or edit different or delete them. You know, choose your own videos if you want. It's also going to add in flip cards, but mainly what you're going to see there is some text for the course that you're generating, right? So if I just jump into any course, this one, how to bake a cupcake, I love that. That's a good one. And jump into that course while we're waiting. Getting there, 9 now. All right, how to bake a cupcake. So this is the editing screen, right? Up the top here, you've got these icons. Now, if you're on the annual subscription only, FYI, very important point there. If you're on the annual subscription only, you'll be able to download SCORM files, right? Otherwise, you can connect via LTI to your LMS system, right? And that's the button to download the SCORM file. If you've got a preview, you want to edit the topics, so it'll even take you back into the topics list that you can then regenerate based on that topic, the extra topics you've added. And even the course settings is the prompting we did earlier, right? So all those prompts are the course settings. So the benefit of that is you can duplicate a course and then just change a few of the settings or change a few of the topics and regenerate those sections or that part. So you're not using as many credits if you don't want to, but also it allows you to edit things within the course itself. Now, you'll only edit it when you're generating the text, right? So if you go and edit some settings and don't regenerate it, it's not going to obviously produce a different output. But you can also do it individually as well if you delete topics. All right. So from within this course, you'll notice that, you know, yes, we've got videos, yes, we've got some flip cards in there, but it'll mainly give you some text, right? Now, let's say I don't like this bit of text, I think it's a bit too summary and I want to expand it. You can use the AI tool here. So anywhere where the stars is using AI, right? Expand text, bullet point, summarize text to speech. That's the voiceover that I showed you earlier, voice to text. But if I hit expand, it's gonna expand that section of text. So that's using the AI tool to expand it, right? So that's pretty cool. Just little sections of it. That's going to use much less of the generation credits, just expand a small section, right? There you go. The other thing I like to do, and an interaction that I really like, is an interaction called Hotspot, right? So if let's say I want to get this mixing bowl section, I can see this is a whole bit of text. So I'm just gonna grab the mixing bowl section. Actually, we'll just use cupcake liners just so that we've got, I can just throw it in at the bottom there. So what we can do is add interacting, single column hotspot. This is a hotspot question, hotspot tab. I'm throwing that in. I'm going to grab the top lot of text here. I'm going to copy that into this section. Oh, hold on. Grab that and hit. Oh, maybe this formatting is not good. All right, that's right. We'll call that heading 2. Oh, sorry. Call that heading 2. Shouldn't do that. Move that. Anyway, you get the point. Okay. Now, I'm going to add an image. Now, the cool thing about adding an image here is I can browse a free image library. So we have 2 different image libraries that you can utilize. Oh, I'm getting lots of questions that I haven't answered. Apologies, guys. So Nathan had a follow-up question. Being that you have built the platform, even using API, what protections are there from eSkilled assessing our data, considering its conflict of interest being a provider as well? Oh, no, we cannot share your data. So that is not, you don't have to worry about that. This is your platform. We only get permission to look at your platform with your permission. So it's within your portal. So yes, we have all the assurances. You'll see it in the terms and conditions there. So you won't have to worry about that, Nathan. Prakar has asked a question. Hi, I just wanted to find out if the output from the tool is fully accessibility compliant. For example, web, oh yes, the WCAG 2.2. So yes, any of this AI course creator tool is built on with the WCAG compliance in mind. I think there's a few areas of some of our other systems that aren't fully compliant yet, but every time we upgrade any part of the system, we add the new accessibility guidelines. So yes, is the answer to that one. Hopefully that answers that question for Car. And then Courtney asked the same one. Can the system map the course content and assessment to the unit? So Courtney, as I said before, this is formative assessment only. So you would have to manually map. So that's just something to note here in this scenario. It's a SCORM file. It's designed to be formative assessment. You would do your summative assessment, which is the mapped assessment in your LMS. Hopefully that answers that question. All right, back to this. So browse free image library. So Pexels, let's jump in and say baking tools. All right, search. And you can grab a bit of an image from the free image libraries. You can also generate using AI too. You have an image generation tool built in. And yeah, it's very cool. Even upload as well. So if I like that one, I'm going to now add, so you notice that we've added the top section. We just need to add each of these little sections here as little pointers that we're going to jump into. So I'm adding my little hotspot. And paste that in. Again, we're going to format a little bit. And we'll center that, center them both. Okay. Oh, where is it? Center both. And you'll notice it's a little icon here. You can edit those icons as well. They have, you can add default icons and all sorts of different things. Maybe I want it to be the hand, right? And that's there. And then you can add another hotspot. You see how easy it is to create this stuff. And maybe I want to use the next one. You get my point. I won't bother with that next one, but you get my point. Also, we can add in images, even a call to action button as well. Sorry, we got another question here. Nani's asked a question. Is there any support or software will provide the videos for creation? Sorry. Is there any support or softwares will provide for videos creations as well? Sorry, maybe can you clarify that question, Nani? Yes, we have support. There's a little support. There's tutorials there with the question mark, right? Which should give you most of the things you need to get your head around. That being said, there's also a little ticket creation in the bottom right-hand corner as well. That'll also help you. Hopefully that answers the question. But if you need further follow-up there, video creation. So it's not creating videos, Nani. It's only searching the internet for the videos. So you'll see here, there's this additional learning. The source is all here. So hopefully that answers the previous question about video content we had here before. So if you let's say I don't like this particular bit of content, right? I can just delete it, right? The cool thing is it adds a couple in each section just so that you've got a bit of video content in there. So you can, and then if I don't like that video and I want to edit it, you can replace it and embed your own from YouTube or Vimeo as well. And you'll notice here there's also flip cards. Flip cards is another good one here as well. Auto-generated flip cards too, which is pretty cool. All right, let's see where we're at. Oh, we've got our one done. There you go. Estimated course completion time in 7.3 hours. That's another thing. It's a fairly new addition here that we've added. Gives you sort of a guess on how long it would take to do that course as well. No, for us to create video content, do we have an AI tool to generate based on prompt? No, Nani, this is not an AI video generation tool. There's a lot of tools out there on the internet that can do that sort of stuff for you. We're waiting on it to be a little bit better before we add it to the tool. That is probably the best way to put it. We're also going to add a whole lot more interactive stuff as well. So you saw before, we put in just showing you the content from the course we created. I just wanted to take a second to show you how much content can be created. So this is a comprehensive course. So you can see quite clearly it's produced quite a lot of text here. So that's something to note. Okay, going through these tools on the right-hand side here, right? So text, image, 2 columns, 3 columns, all of that. Content banners, call to action buttons, video, audio, document viewers. So literally you can add all sorts of interactions here. You can drop in your quiz. Now this one already has a quiz here. So if I like this here, it has quiz 6 questions, I can add, edit questions. You can have a good look at it. If I don't say I like this quiz, I can just delete it and then jump in and go quiz, build my own, or you can use AI to generate a quiz, another quiz if you want to. Right. Yeah, so that's the tool. That's how to add things. There's also editing components within images and videos as well. You can also, choose, corners. That a lot of that stuff is built into the themes section that I showed you before that we didn't go into too much detail on. Stephen Lake has asked, will the system create learner guides? We deliver in a hybrid fashion, so need some learner guides we can print. Yeah, so that is not available in this tool. The tool is designed produce you an e-learning file. It's not producing learner guides. That being said, you can copy text from this section. You've generated this text using the tool. You can absolutely copy it into a learner guide if you want to produce your own, paper-based learner guides as well. Jackie has asked, once you create the formative content, can this be uploaded into the LMS to replace the SCORM content? Yes, Jackie, that is absolutely what it's there for. This is a really great way to contextualize content you already have, and I know Jackie well. She's purchased content from us, and maybe the content itself. Oh, so go for it, Jackie. Just send the message. Sorry, Jackie's put her hand up. Yeah, feel free to write another message. Apologies. But yes, if the course, the e-learning files that you have aren't contextualized to your needs, it's a really good tool to help contextualize your e-learnings. And yes, you can replace them. Oh, sorry, she was waving. Sorry, Jack. I thought you put your hand up, but you were waving. Okay, cool. Lovely to see you again. Well, hear your voice. All right. The last sort of thing I wanted to touch on is, so you can, in terms of pricing and going through that, I wanted to touch on that a little bit. But also, I wanted to show when you get into the platform, you can also go into, so if you need to edit your subscription at all, you can go into my subscription section there, and that'll allow you to like cancel the subscription or move your package or change your package in any way, or even add more credit. So you'll be able to do that using that my subscription section there. And of course, when you open up the system, it'll bring up the notifications, which is pretty much all the new features that have come into the platform. And then the little question mark is tutorials. All right. Now, let's jump into pricing. Before we move on, is there any further questions on that anyone would like to see anything else in the platform? All right. I'll wait for questions and then I'll jump into this other one. And if I have to jump back, I can jump back. So in terms of pricing, the way that the tool works, right, is there's either monthly or annual. Okay. Now I'm in Australian dollars. Of course, if you're in a different country, you'll get different dollars. So you got monthly or annual. I would recommend pushing to annual. This is my recommendation, everyone. The reason for that is you can, when you purchase the annual subscription, you can then download those SCORM files and then just upload them into whichever LMS, right? It's designed to have content. It's not a learning management system, okay? It's providing the content to your learning management. Actually, that's something I'll go through as well after we go through pricing. So if I push to annual, you'll notice that it reduces some of the prices. So start as $89 a month and it pushes to $1,068. Obviously, as you move up the packages, you get a discount if you go to annual, all right, as well as the ability to download those SCORM files. All right. Now, the packages come with a limit of users. So that's how many people producing courses, a storage limit, a AI generation limit, which gets reset every month, right? So you can produce, depending on which level you go with, you can produce, the starter, I think 3 or 4 with audio transcribe per month-ish. Of course, it's very variable because it'll depend on the unit. It'll depend on, how much text you use. All of those things will determine how much credits you use. But, anywhere between, 50,000 credits per course all the way up to 1 million credits per course. So it depends on the course that you're producing. That being said, you should generate about at least 2 or 3 a month using the starter. Obviously, it exponentially gets better, and that's why most people go with the Maximize package, because it gives you a whole lot more generations and obviously a whole lot more courses. So the course limit just means the amount of courses sitting in your platform. Of course, you generate, and then there's a course in your system. So if I duplicate that course, and I'm not using any more AI generation credits, I'm still using another course within the system. Makes sense? And then obviously how many AI generated images you can choose can add per month, how many connections to your LMS. Now, when I say connections, that's only when you connect via LTI. Different when you connect via SCORM file, because you just download the file and upload it. So hopefully that helps with in terms of that. Now, if the amount of credits or the amount of storage or anything is too much for your package, you can also purchase extra generation credits and extra storage, and that's done in that subscription section I showed you earlier. So hopefully that gives you all the information on pricing. If anyone has any questions on that, feel free to ask as well. All right. Now, if I want to download, I like this course, I'm happy with it. Of course, I'm not that happy with it, but if I was, I can hit save here. And there's a couple of buttons at the top I want to take you through. So if I want to download the SCORM file, depends on what LMS you have as to which version of SCORM you'll use. Yeah, you can use different packages depending on what sort of course, what sort of format you need it in, what sort of SCORM format you need it in. I generally use 1.2, but if you're using a platform like Accelerate, for instance, you have to use simple sequencing. That's something to note. All right. Now, download SCORM. I want a preview link. So I'm just going to click this and it'll populate a link that'll be the preview link of that course. So if I want to open that course, I'll be able to see, oh, hold on. I should probably start it at the cover page and then do the preview. So you can see it from the start. Like that. Boom. And then edit topics just takes you back to that topic section, and course setting takes you back to the prompting. Now, if you want to connect the system, you have to go into administration settings. So if you want to connect it via LTI, you want to stick on the monthly plan and you just want to update it within the system so it updates your courses as you go, you can create a LTI domain for your LMS system and then link it essentially. That's all you're doing. And then within the courses themselves, you can then enable LTI for that particular course, and then it becomes available on your system. All right. Is there any further questions? I think I've gone through everything at this stage. So if there's any further questions, I'd love to answer them. I see some familiar faces. I love to see that. Familiar names, sorry. No one else? Oh, there's one more question. Oh, can we explain the LTI further? Okay, so LTI means learning. I think it's learning content technology interoperability, right? A weird way of saying that it connects your system. It's like a window into this system from your system, but it also isn't just a window because it brings data back and forth. So what it's doing is connecting this system to your LMS, all right? And anyone with any systems that have LTI compatibility, it's basically connecting the two systems together so that you can open whichever course within the system you like. Hopefully that makes more sense. I generally like to download the SCORM files and upload them. It's just a bit easier generally. That's why I suggest the annual subscription. But that being said, LTI is a very good way to connect it as well. Theo has mentioned, looks easy to use. It definitely can talk with my team regarding the eSkilled program. Awesome. Yeah, that's great to hear. And oh, by the way, guys, there's a 2-week free trial on this system as well. You'll get access to that 2-week free trial. You'll be sent an email after this session with the link. You can jump in and use the 2-week trial and test out the systems yourself. There's not all the functionality in the trial, but it'll give you a good understanding of what the system can do for you. Jackie's mentioned Also, will this also provide an option to create the summative questions for the course or unit in the future? Oh, that's a good question, Jackie. Possibly, not at this stage. Obviously, summative is not available yet, but yeah, maybe. Let's put it that way. Let's put it. There might be another tool, perhaps, that can do that at a later date. All right, no worries. I might finish it up there. If anyone has any further questions, feel free to reply back to that email. We'll get that. We'll get that, and we'll respond. Um, click on that link to book in for the for that free trial and have a play. Yes, sorry, Theo. You'll get an email after the session, so it'll be a couple of hours, and it'll come through in about probably 3 hours after the session, and you'll get a recording of the session along with certificate of attendance and also a link to download to jump into the subscription plans. So hopefully that helps. Awesome. All right. Well, it's been lovely. Like I said, feel free to ask any questions later, and we'll happily answer them for you. Hopefully that has given you a good rundown of the system. And so, yeah, have a good day.